We're going to tariff the hell out of that country.
Concerns of a massive trade war between the U.S. and two of its largest trade partners.
Like Donald Trump says, some countries will see major tariff hikes.
Consequences are going to be devastating for Canada.
Obviously talked about how the intense, effective connections between our two countries, some of the challenges that we can work on together. It was a good call.
25% tariff on all Canadian products right when I get into office. Mr. Trump has promised 25% tariff on all Canadian products that would enter United States. Right from the start of his term in January 2025, he has said that he will make it happen by signing executive orders, which does not require any Congress approval or any other House approval. So it's going to go into effect immediately. He has promised to keep this in place until Canada cracks down on drugs and illegal migration. U.S. Customs and Border Protection authorities have seized 43 pounds of fentanyl and 23,721 people crossing illegally from Canada to United States. Who are these people? This is pathetic. The previous year, 10,021 people tried to cross from Canada to United States, and the year before 2,238 people tried to cross illegally. The illegal migration is certainly increasing, and it is increasing a lot. If 25% tariff is put on Canadian products, what do we have to lose? Let's see. United States is Canada's biggest trading partner. Canada exported 77% of all its exports to United States. That's worth $592.7 billion. Canada shipped 1.6 billion barrels of oil last year to United States. It is America's biggest petroleum supplier. Half of the petroleum America uses comes from Canada. Canada is also a major source of minerals for the United States. In 2023, $29.1 billion worth of fishing, farm and intermediate products were shipped to United States. This is 47% of exports. 90% of Canada's cattle and beef goes to United States. 85% of greenhouse vegetables, cucumbers, tomatoes, peppers. In agriculture sector, 60% of agriculture produce goes to United States. United States is also a major market for our cherished honey and maple syrup products. Now these are pretty big numbers for Canadian economy. There are chances that Canadian economy would go into recession if these 25% tariffs are put into place. An economist from University of Calgary, Trevor Tombe, has tweeted an estimate that if 25% of tariffs were put in place, Canadian real GDP will decline by 2.6% annually. So Republicans are going to be in power for 4 years. This will decrease the real GDP by 8 to 10%. Every year it would be like $2,000 decline in every person's income. Tariff will specifically affect oil and gas and mining sector and auto sector. Canadian Chamber of Commerce has estimated that only 10% of tariff will decrease gas, oil and mining sector by 40% and auto sector by 20%. You can multiply the impact that 25% of tariff would have on these sectors. Probably it will potentially end oil, gas and mining sector in Canada. The importers anywhere in the country, they are responsible to pay the tariffs. So now if importer places an order to import something into their country, they give the undertaking that they will pay all the tariffs. Now there could be another situation if Canadians are exporting and Canadian companies, they take on the tariff, they give some discount on the price. What are they going to do is pass on the cost. They may lay off workers. They might shut down their facilities. There will be recession in Canada. There will be unemployment in Canada. The other scenario is when companies did not do that and importers were the one to pay the tariffs. They would pass on their cost to the American people and there will be inflation in there. Now remember, Republicans won the election for many reasons. And one of the biggest reasons was inflation in that country. Americans were fed up with high inflation. They did not like Democrats. That's why they voted the Republicans in. Peterson Institute of Economics estimates 20% tariff on everything coming into the country would cost $2,600 extra to every average American family. Now, just like last time, if Canada decided to put tariffs on American products in retaliation, there will be inflation in Canada. Bank of Canada would start raising the interest rate again. There will be more unemployment. This is going to be the most likely outcome if Canada puts the tariffs on American products. Now, one thing is that Canada put visa restrictions on Mexicans. Mexicans could come to Canada without visa. It happened that half of the people crossing illegally from Canada to United States were Mexican. Canadian authorities put the restrictions on Mexicans to have visa before they come here in Canada. But crossing over from Canada to United States, I wonder how is that an issue? Someone entering the country illegally should be stopped by the authorities in that country. Canada is responsible for making sure that nobody enters Canada illegally. Some illegal trying to enter United States illegally is the responsibility of United States. They have to make their borders tighter instead of pointing finger on the other countries whether they are neighbors or not. America is the biggest economy in the world. It is the superpower. Of course, everybody is attracted to it. Everybody wants to go to America. People who could not get into America legally would try to get into America illegally. How is it the fault of some other country? It is actually the ineffectiveness of the border authorities in the United States. The question is, how important is Canada for the United States? Canada bought more products from America than China, Japan, France, and United Kingdom combined. Canada bought $354 billion worth of American products. And all these big economies, they bought $345 billion of American products. Canada buys more products from United States than it buys from China, Mexico, Germany, Japan, South Korea, Vietnam, Italy, Britain, Brazil combined. Personally, I think this is so stupid. The Canadian leadership has relied on American products for decades. That Donald Trump's one truth, I would call it truth because he said something on Truth social media, his own social media, Truth Media. So I would call it that Donald Trump's one truth sent shockwaves in all the leadership in Canada. They have formed a Team Canada and they believe that all the parties are into it. All the parties are saying that we're going to leave bipartisanship aside and enter into Team Canada. But if you look closely and critically, it doesn't seem like that everyone is on the same page when it comes to Team Canada. Here is the statement from Alberta Premier Danielle Smith. She says that the incoming US administration has valid concerns related to illegal activities at our shared border. We're calling on the federal government to work with the incoming administration to resolve these issues immediately, thereby avoiding any unnecessary tariffs on Canadian exports to the US. It does not look like any statement coming out from Team Canada member. It seems like just she's ordering federal government, fix it immediately. What is she's about? Watch this video of Doug Ford.
Last night at 6:35, we received the biggest threat we've ever received from our closest friends and ally, from President-elect Trump, that they're threatening to put a 25% tariff on all goods coming across the border into the U.S. and Mexico. What I found unfair about the comments is to compare us to Mexico. And I can tell you, Canada is no Mexico. We do approximately, just Ontario alone, $500 billion of two-way trade. I found his comments unfair. I found them insulting. It's like a family member stabbing you right in the heart. To compare us to Mexico is the most insulting thing I've ever heard from our friends and closest allies, the United States of America.
Well, this is totally Team Canada, I agree. Very straightforward and bold. Salute to Doug Ford. British Columbia Premier David Eby, he wrote on X, Trump's tariff would hurt Canadians and Americans alike. Canadians must stand united. Ottawa must respond with strength. We will never stop fighting for British Columbian families. Okay, this seems like Team Canada member. Saskatchewan Premier Scott Moe also responded as a Team Canada member. Quebec Premier Francois Legault also turned out to be Team Canada member. He says the integrity of borders must be priority of the federal government. I offer the government of Quebec's full collaboration to Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, Team Canada member. Now, watch this video of Jagmeet Singh.
Donald Trump's threats of tariffs could threaten hundreds of thousands of Canadian mortgage-paying jobs. The only thing a bully responds to is strength. So where is our plan to fight back? Where is the war room? Where is a concrete plan to bring our issue before CUSMA? Why isn't the Prime Minister fighting like hell for Canadian jobs? Hear, 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 hear.
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, rather than panicking, we're engaging in constructive ways to protect Canadian jobs like we have before. I don't think the idea of going to war with the United States is what anyone wants. What we will do is stand up for Canadian jobs as we have before, as we will continue to. Stand up for the prosperity we create when we work together. Stand up for the challenges that we're facing, that we're protecting Canadians from. There is work we can do together. That is the work we will do, seriously, methodically, but without freaking out the way the leader of the NDP seems to be.
He starts fighting whenever a chance is offered. Certainly not Team Canada member. Watch Pierre Poilievre.
One, I only care about Canada. I want to put our country first. Two, America is responsible for over 60% of our trade. We trade more with the U.S. than we do with the rest of the world combined. I will do what is necessary to preserve and protect that relationship above all others. What we really need is an action plan with tangibles. So, bottom line, Trudeau's got to axe the carbon tax. He's got to lift the production cap on Canadian energy. He's got to rebuild our military and secure our borders. That is a real plan to protect our economy and our security and put Canada first, and that's more important than photo ops and meetings between politicians.
I like Pierre Poilievre. He's a young guy, he's very energetic, but here he's talking totally about something else. It seems like he has attention deficit disorder. You ask about something and the answer is about something else. Certainly not Team Canada member. Last year, only 23,721 people crossed illegally from Canada to United States. 43 pounds of fentanyl was seized by US authorities. Mr. Trump has shown concern about these two things. The 25% tariff to fix this problem does not make sense. The question is that if this problem is fixed, for example, nobody crosses over illegally from Canada to United States, or no drug is smuggled through the border in the months to come, in December or January, or maybe in a year, would Trump administration avoid putting tariffs on Canadian products? I don't think so. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.